So on 8.5's video, I know that I did not do a proportion example, and so I just want to quickly do an example of what finding the difference in two populations given proportions would look like. Looking at number 11 in the book, we have S.E. Jett is a professor of geography at the University of California, Davis. He and a colleague, V. Spencer, are experts on modern Navajo culture and geography. The following information is taken from their book. On the Navajo Reservation, a random sample of 210 permanent dwellings in the Fort Defiance region showed that 65 were traditional Navajo Hogans. So 65 out of 210. In the Indian Wells region, a random sample of 152 permanent dwellings showed that 18 were traditional Hogans. So we're looking at the number of traditional Hogans in different areas, different populations. So Fort Defiance, Indian Wells. Who has the larger proportion of traditional Hogans? Notice we've been given no mean, we've been given no standard deviation. All of that will take care of itself given the fact that we have proportional data. Successes being those people that are Hogans, and total being the total number of dwellings that there are. It says find a 99% confidence interval for P1 minus P2. Again, P1 is Fort Defiance and P2 is Indian Wells. And then it says examine, what does it mean? So let's take a look at how that might look. Again, P1 is Fort Defiance, and P2 is Indian Wells. For Fort Defiance, we had N of 210, so 210 dwellings, and a success of 65, meaning 65 Hogans that lived in Fort Defiance out of 210 people. In Indian Wells, we had 152 people, and we had 18 Hogans. So 18 out of 152 successes. If we go into our calculator, this was on the 8.5, the last 8.5 video. We go into our calculator, and we go to stat, we go to test, and because it's proportional and we're using two different proportions, we're going to use two prop z-int. Two proportion z-interval, hit enter. It asks us for success and sample, or success and sample size, success, sample size, confidence. So we'll do 65 out of 210, 18 out of 152, and then a 99% confidence level is what they wanted. We calculate it, and we get 0.08 to 0.29. 0.08 to 0.29. So 0.08 to actually 0.30 if we round correctly. So what does this mean then? Well, if I think of the value, so if I took the population 1 minus population 2, that number would always end up between 0.08 and 0.30. Well, what that tells me then is that that number will always be positive. So I know that my populations are always going to be greater than 0. My difference in them is always going to be greater than 0. And if I get them on either side of the inequality to compare, I'll add P2, and I get P1 is greater than P2. So this tells me the number of Hogans, or I should say the proportion of Hogans is higher in Fort Defiance than in Indian Wells. That's it.